What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So it seems that the mighty PlayStation 5 cannot keep up with the power of the Xbox Series X, or S for that matter. So what's been happening, and I've said this before, developers have been prioritizing and optimizing for PlayStation 5 all along. And that's why a lot of those games were, oh, they play better on PlayStation 5. It's the SSD, blah, 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 whatever narrative you want to slap on that falsity. And that's what's been happening. And it's coming to light now because of the Gotham Knight kind of thing. The dev said, yo, the potato, the Xbox Series X. It's like, wait, first off, Xbox Series X is more better than the PlayStation 4, which you were developing for until recently. You dropped it. So Gotham Knights is a last gen game that didn't quite make it over the line, basically, you know, because they couldn't make it work good enough on the last gen consoles. Also, they prioritized the wrong things. We went over this before, but anyway, the point is that the devs were prioritizing PlayStation 5 over Xbox Series X and S. And now a game comes out and it performs better on the Xbox Series consoles, period. Not even just the X. The S has more stable frame rates than the PlayStation 5. Explain that to me, Donkey Unicorns. How does a $300 system, $250 system in some places, outperform a PlayStation 5 in frame rates, in stability? How? It's so crazy. And when you understand, when you optimize for one thing and you just slap it on another system and expect it to work, they're brute forcing the Xbox Series X. That's what's happening. And so because of the overhead on the Xbox Series consoles, they can do that and get away with it. You'll get less performant because you're not optimizing for that bespoke hardware, but it still works good enough. That's the whole thing about last generation. It was good enough. The PlayStation 4 was good enough. PlayStation 4 Pro, good enough. So my thing is that now the curtain has been pulled back, revealed. The great and powerful Oz has been shown into the sunlight. And now these devs are talking shite about the Xbox Series consoles, S in particular, in this instance, and it's not true. Even the devs' narratives are breaking down. Like, why, as a dev, right? Why would you say that? Why? Like me, I'm the audio guy. I got nothing to do with coding. I can't even comment on how to optimize a game for this, that, and the third. But I know when you don't optimize for something and you do optimize for one thing, the thing that you optimize for is going to be better. It's like common sense. A plus B equals 12. You know what I'm saying? Got that math, you know what I mean? So it's crazy that well, it's not crazy, okay? It's politics. And it's like, oh, PlayStation is the number one, so we have to cater to them. And I'm gonna fault Sony and PlayStation for a little bit of what's going on this generation. Well, a lot of it, but about the behavior of these devs and the behaviors that are reinforcing these behaviors. The behaviors that are reinforcing these behaviors. Too many behaviors. And the fact that everyone is scared to talk bad about Sony, because if you do, that means, oh, you're blacklisted, or you don't get the games, or you don't get the papers so you can optimize your game better, or whatever the case is. Their punitive system over there at Sony is very complex and colorful, I would assume. I don't know what it is, but you know what? When they're charging devs for crossplay, it's a messed up world, right? And they're just eating it all up. I'm like, what? If I had control of the studio that I am a part of, which I do not I won't say it's not a co-op, but it's a team. You know, we're a team. You know, we talk to each other. We say, yo, that's a good idea. Yo, I don't know. Let's vote on it. Blah blah blah. It's a quote unquote democracy, I guess. And if I were like the solo dev dude, I wouldn't even touch Sony right now because they're poisonous, especially in the face of Game Pass. You're like, yo, I could just call up Charla and be like, yo, Chris, can I get a deal? What's the deal? Yo, I'm just a lonely developer. What's the numbers look like for me? And he's like, oh yeah, put your charge with some of our people. I don't know how he talks. and then, you know, I get some money, they get the game. Boom. That's how it works. No, oh, you gotta pay, you know, $25,000 for some crossplay nonsense. Like, come on, son. And that's not a number I just threw out there. That's what I had read. It's about 25,000 or so. It's not a percentage. It's not like, oh, this percentage of sales. No. This is a flat rate. Crossplay, here you go. I'm like, wait, if you just got a little baby indie game, you gotta, okay, we're not talking about crossplay. The point is, the optimization of these games and these devs. I mean, that's the main thing, right? You know, we already know that the devs have done that, right? So they've kind of they've tried to hamstring the Xbox consoles by doing this, and it has worked to an extent, but not really, because Game Pass is too powerful. Game Pass is too powerful of an entity for a dev, any devs, any corporation, Sony, anybody to deny the power. The power, when I say the power of it in the industry. And it seems like Microsoft is doing all these things this generation that are reinforcing a strong industry, in general, and just a strong foothold for themselves in the industry. And my hope going forward is that they don't falter and turn back into a Don Mattrick or a Jim Ryan type of figurehead in the corporation, because that would be bad. Now, I think as long as Satya Nadella is the CEO, then it would be, I think it would be a little bit, I don't know. But I think Satya Nadella is definitely a better, he's a better look, because him plus Phil Spencer kind of make it work. You know, Satya is the cloud dude, so, you know, cloud's gonna be part of it. As long as Satya is there, cloud is it. And they're setting it up so that cloud is going to be it. You know, it is already part of a giant part of their business as a giant corporation as Microsoft. So why wouldn't it continue to be? Anyway, back to the whole dev thing. The devs are speaking out, and you know, the one dev called the Series S potato, blah blah blah. And what I wanted to say, which I'm finally getting to, is that if you have to make a separate version for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, right? And you were making last gen consoles, and if you're making PC versions, you have to code for the lowest common denominator, which is, I think right now they're targeting like the 1650. So what's the difference? The difference is it's always money. Whenever somebody complains about something, the devs are lazy. No, they're not lazy. They're not getting paid to do it. It's about money. If you have the money, if the publisher gives the devs the money and time to make the different versions, to optimize all the different versions, it will be done, period. It is not harder to code for the Series S than it is for a 1650 or a 4090. It is different, yes, but it's not harder. And so when they say, oh, we're making it hard for everybody else because of the potential, that's a bunch of BS, because the Series S version is not the PlayStation 5 version. So you're acting like, oh, we can't do it, it's too hard. If it's too hard, why are you coding? What are you doing? Is that the job for you? Maybe you should go and, I don't know, code for Code for some iPhones or something. You know, I hear King's probably hiring. Make some Candy Crush sequels or something. Make some more levels for them. Because it's easier. We talk about potatoes. But anyway, it's just once again, it goes back to kind of the politics and the politicking and the tribalism of like everything in this world. But pertaining to video games, it's so apparent, and it really does annoy me. And the fact that I'm sitting here talking about like console war stuff is kind of illustrating that point as well. But the reason why I do it is because last generation, the ponies, they weren't donkey unicorns at that point, they were just ponies. They were adamant about beating down the point that, PlayStation's number one, Xbox is trash, blah blah blah, Xbox ain't got no games and all that stuff. All the lines. And now that the tables have turned, what are they saying? It's like, what it's like? This is what I compare it to. It's like if you're in high school, you're in middle school, whatever, and there's a bully, and the bully is just messing with you, and you're like, yo, one day I'm gonna get that bully one day. And then you get to 9th grade, and all of a sudden you get a growth spurt, and you're taller than the bully now, and it's like, oh, what's up, bully? How you doing, guy? Oh, you ready for your own medicine now, huh? You ready? You ready to get bullied? But I know 2 wrongs don't make it right, but guess what? In terms of a bully, bullies need to be taught a lesson. Okay, you can't be just like, oh, let's talk to them, and no. That's not how it works. When I grew up, I got my ass whooped by my parents. They whooped us with belts and whatever else they could find. And it wasn't child abuse. It was like, yo, when you have a kid and the kid isn't listening to you, you need to illustrate the point that you need to listen to me. I am the parent. I am here to protect you, even though you don't understand that yet. Pow, pow. I hope you understand now. And if you look into the animal kingdom, they do the same thing. You see the parents, they be messing up their kids. They be slapping them around all the time because kids don't know any better. Neither do ponies. Now, I don't condone beating your kids. Obviously, I don't have any kids, so I don't fall into that category. And it would not be proper for me to beat anyone else's kids. You know what I mean? I'll talk to them like, yo, you're dumb. Just letting you know, you're just a little dumb person right now. You'll learn one day, but anyway, we're not talking. You see how it just just tangents into all kind of crazy stuff. Anyway, the ponies are crazy. They needed to be learned a lesson. That's the whole point. Is that the whole comparison was that Sony ponies were being bullies last gen, and now they're getting a taste of their own medicine this gen. And it kind of makes me smile a little bit, although Sony and Jim Ryan are helping the Xbox cause. So thank you, Jim Ryan. I'd have to say that for being you, I guess. And excuse me. And letting this happen, I appreciate it. But anyway, let me know in the comments. Is Sony crazy? Are the devs hamstringing? Have they been all this generation? Is the PlayStation 5 really not that awesome? We're starting to see evidence that it's not up to par, not up to snuff as far as performance goes. Should the devs do what they do, or should they just make the best versions of each? Or should the publishers give them the money and the resources to do it right? I don't know. Leave the comments, and I'll let y'all. I'll blah 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 and yabba yabba. Words, they're difficult in the morning. But anyway, I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll see you on the next one. Till the way down.